How is it? So we look at inequations. An equation is a mathematical statement which has no equal sign, but uses symbols such as less than, greater or equal to, and less or equal to. Now let's take a look at some of the examples which ECZ brings in as questions in paper 1 mathematics. Let's see. Solve the inequation. Solve the inequation. Look, let's look at this one here. They say this actually has to be like this, not an equal sign. It has to be greater or equal to. So when you have that equation, we have a symbol which is actually greater or equal to. So let's see how can we solve this inequation. So first of all, the same concept of solving an equation is the same concept we normally utilize whenever we are solving an equation. So we look at this thing, we'll say negative 3x, like this one here. Then we still consider the additive inverse of this negative 5, crossing a symbol which is greater, an inequality, it's a symbol which is greater or equal to. It's going to be like this. We're going to have 10 plus 5 like this. And then when you have that thing, we're going to say that negative 3x is greater or equal to. We add the two numbers, which is 10 and 5. The result is going to be 15, which is a positive number. Thereafter, I'll divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is negative 3. Even there, negative 3. On this one, when you divide an equation, whenever we divide by a negative, it being a coefficient of x or any variable, always remember that the symbol will change from it being greater or equal to less or equal to. When I divide by a negative there, the result becomes a positive. The symbol must change from greater to less or equal to. And then how many times can this go there? It goes there negative 5 times. So this is the final answer on inequation part. As we take a look at the second question, how whenever the coefficient is positive, when it does not change, how can we attempt that question? What type of approach can we also apply as we solve that mathematical problem? Yeah, so let's take a look at the second question here, which is solve the inequation 3x plus 1 greater than 7. Let's see how we can find this inequation. So first of all, is to look at the issue of collecting like terms. We'll say 3x, the way it is greater than active inverse of positive 1. It's going to be a minus. It's going to be 7 minus 1 like this. And thereafter, we'll say 3x will be greater Then 7 minus 1, the result is going to be 6, like this. And therefore, I will divide both sides by 3, even there by 3, and my final answer will be x greater than 2. You can write it. Yeah, let's look at how we can solve this equation in paper 2 in relation to how we were solving equations in paper 1. Now the question reads, solve the equation 4q minus 2 less than 2 open bracket q plus 3. And we should bear in mind that this question carries only 2 marks. So what we're going to do there for us to solve this equation, we still have to work on the expansion part whenever it is such a situation before we even correct like this. We're simply going to say that 4q minus 2 less than, then you multiply, expand. To multiply q, you're going to have 2q, and then 2 plus 3, you're going to have positive 6, like this one. Then from there, you pick it up from there as in collecting like terms. Then you're going to have 4q and 2q, negative 2, and also positive 6. So it's going to be 4q like this. The additive events of this crossing a sign, this is positive, is going to become a minus. Then the symbol, which is less than. And then here we have 6. This is positive crossing the symbol, is going to be a positive. The difference there is going to be 2q less than this, that. When you add it together, you're going to have 8, like this. And thereafter, you divide both sides by 2, giving there by 2. And from there, we'll say q will be less than 4. This comes the final answer on this particular problem, because the value of q is a positive, not a negative. If it was a negative, as we divide, we expect the symbol to change. If the coefficient of q had a negative sign, we expect the symbol as we divide to change from it being less than to greater than. But in this time around, we just make it the way it is, as in the value of q to be say positive, and nothing will change. So this is how the way we can ask questions in maths paper 2, where showing your work is actually involved, and this is the way you can show your work and for you to gain more marks. Remember, this question only carries 2 marks. That's all.